Good evening. Today is February 7th, 2022. The first item that we have on our agenda for today will be the finance meeting. And the first item we have, a public notice for the meeting of finance committee for the school board of the city of East Chicago. The first item that we have is the roll call. Ms. Bigum, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Present.
Trustee Gomez,
Present.
Trustee Williams,
Present.
Trustee Smith. Present. Chairman Hernandez on.
Present. The first item that we have for our agenda, I don't know, Dr. Finley, would you like to explain exactly why we're having this meeting in public or touch base?
Yes, this is the Board of Finance, the annual meeting. The Indiana law requires that the Board of Finance meet annually, and for school corporations, the Board of School Trustees is also the Board of Finance.
Okay, and the first item we have for our agenda is the election of officers. And the first office is the office of president. Is there a motion, is there a nomination for presidency?
Madam President,
Yes, Trustee Rodriguez.
I'm going to nominate Anton Williams for president, please.
Okay, there's a nomination for Anton Williams to be president. Is there any other nominations? Can we have just a roll call now? Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
Trustee Gomez,
Yes.
Trustee Williams,
Yes.
Trustee Smith. Yes. Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. The second item would be the nomination for secretary. Is there a nomination for secretary for the finance committee?
Madam President,
Trustee Williams.
make a nomination for Mr. Rodriguez.
There's a nomination for Trustee Rodriguez for secretary of the finance committee. Are there any other nominations? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
Trustee Gomez,
Yes.
Trustee Williams,
Yes.
Trustee Smith. Yes. Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes, the second item we have on the agenda is stale dated checks. Is that Ms. Simmons or Dr. Finley?
That was the CFO Simmons.
I'm asking the board approval to void some still dated checks that have not been cashed in our system and return the funds back to the operation account.
Can I have a motion for approval?
Madam President, I'll make a motion for approval.
Trustee Williams makes a motion for approval.
Second that motion.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Are there any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
Trustee Gomez,
Yes.
Trustee Williams,
Yes.
Trustee Smith. Yes. Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes, item number 3, investment report. Ms. Simmons?
Yes, I am presenting to the board 2 investment accounts that we have in the district. Both of them are with our banks. We have a rate of 0.0016 on our First Merchants Bank. We have a rate of 0.05 on our People's Bank. At this time, our First Merchants Bank for the year of 2021 brought in $610.24. Our People's Bank brought in $13,386.05.
And that was just a report, just letting us know there's no action item that we have to take, correct?
Correct. No.
And for the record, this information, we did put it on our website under, if I recall correctly, the finance portion. Dr. Finley, can you speak on that?
Yes, that is correct. Once you all acknowledge and receipt of all of the documents, we will put it on the finance tab on our website.
Perfect, thank you. So then the next item we have is Distressed Unit Appeals Board of Fiscal Indicators Report.
Madam President, I don't think we motioned approval yet on the item Leila just mentioned.
So it doesn't, if I could, Madam President, it doesn't necessarily need approval, but you could take a vote to accept it, and that would be the basis of the acknowledgement of receipt. So it wouldn't necessarily be approving the content of the report, it would just be a motion to accept the report.
Okay,
I'll make a
so do we have a
Make a mo-
motion for accepting the investment report made by our CFO, Ms. Leila Simmons?
Madam President, I move for approval or approval acceptance of the report.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval. Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. And are there any questions on that? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. The next item is the Distress Unit Appeals Board Fiscal Indicators Report. Ms. Simmons.
Yes, this is a report that is given out by the DUEP every year now, coming up. And basically, it has the ADM count averages over since 2013 to 2021. Our present report shows that we have had a decline in enrollment over those years. We went from a little over 4,000. Now we are below 4,000 at 3,200 plus. The next report for it is the fund balance. They take the fund balance totals from our Form 9 that we submit. We submit the Form 9 twice a year, every 6 months. So as of 2013, our funds balances were low. We are currently running our funds balance at a high number. We have increased from 2013 to 2020. Operations fund has increased, our federal funds has increased, our general fund has increased, and we're holding a steady balance with our rainy day fund, which we did not have until 2017. The annual deficit report for surplus has declined because of our debt that we are working off. I do believe, have only 4 debts out there that we are paying. That has declined. And the revenue and the expenditure part of this is our revenue and our expenditures are running like neck and neck, so it's in and out. But I have dropped our expenditures over the years. Our expenditures were substantial. Now we are bringing the expenditures down. Next part of this is the fund balance percentage of operation and expenditures. As I said, that our balance for operation over the years since 2013 was really more towards the negative of the balance. We have increased that. We are now holding more of the operation funds by going through POs, making sure that we are paying the correct amount of POs. Also making sure that we're not overspending on some things that we can have our in-house personnel do. Revenue types. It's the next section of the DUEP report. This here just lists all of the revenue types that we get in. We get in federal refund, federal revenue, state revenue, other local revenue, and that is mostly grants that we get in from small companies. Our debt revenue is when we take out debt and add that in, but within the last couple of years, we have not did any substantial amount. Operation referendum, we do not have, and it has also our local taxes. The next one is operation refund revenue. We do not have that at this time. All this will be located in detail, in color, on our website up under the finance drive.
Okay, so again, this would just be another motion to accept the report regarding the Distress Unit Appeals Board Fiscal Indicators. So is there a motion for accepting this report?
Madam President, report.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion. to approve?
I second that motion.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. And are there any questions? Okay, next we will have adjournment for the finance meeting. Could I have a motion, please?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
I believe we need to take a roll call vote on the last motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ms. Bigum, can you please roll call?
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes,
Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Now I'll need a motion for adjournment for this meeting.
Madam President, I make the motion for adjournment.
Trustee Williams makes a motion for adjournment.
I'll second that motion.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Ms. Roll call, please, Ms. Bigum.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Next, we will be moving to our regular session of the Board of School Trustees for the School City of East Chicago. The time is now 6:19 p.m. As always, the place is the School City of East Chicago Administration Building, 1401 East 144th Street. That's East Chicago, Indiana, 46312. And it's also being streamed live at www.stec.k12.in.us. This is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. The first item on the agenda is a roll call. Ms. Bigum,
Trustee Rodriguez,
Present.
trustee Gomez,
Present,
trustee Williams,
Present.
trustee Smith. Present. Chairman Hernandez on.
present. The next item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Can we please stand? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to its republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I couldn't hear you guys anymore. Sorry, I didn't know if we were moving forward. The next item that we have on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Can I have a motion for approval of the agenda?
President, I make the motion for approval.
Trustee Smith makes a motion for approval of the agenda.
Second that motion.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Are there any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
yes.
trustee Gomez, trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith. Yes. Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. The next item is presentation, and the first one is the Block Middle School. Dr. Finley.
All of the schools in the district create what we call school improvement plans. So we've asked Block Middle School to be here tonight to share their school improvement goals with the board as well as the overall community. So I'm going to defer to Mrs. Kyoga and Mrs. Hildebrand.
Yes.
Good evening, all. Of course, I'm Ms. Quiroga, and this is Ms. Hildenbrand. We're the administrators of Block. We're the dynamic duo of Block, because Block rocks, yes. Okay, so we're going to review the 3 SIP goals that we have. The focuses that we have at Block School, and it's proficiency in reading and math. We're dealing with SEL and attendance. And there's a couple other ones, but those are the ones that we're focusing at this time. If you take a look here, the school improvement goal, proficiency, what we're looking at is to increase. Of course, we want the kids to reach proficiency. We're looking at for reading, we're thinking 9%. We want 9%, and with math, 10. Next. Kelly.
So Block is using iReady to monitor proficiency for both reading and math. First, we're going to look at our reading proficiency. So this first graph here talks about our beginning of the year assessment. You can see in our green, these are students that are on level. At the beginning of the year, we only had 13% of our students that were at proficiency. But when you look at middle of the year and we took the assessment again, we jumped to 19%. So this is showing that we are making moves in the correct direction. When we look back at the beginning of the year for reading, in the red, these are students that are 2 or more grade levels below. We were at 75%. 75% of our population was 2 or more grade levels below. And by middle of the year, we moved those students, and it was 66% of our students, 68% of our students that were 2 or more grade levels below. So when we look at the yellow, these are students that are just 1 grade level below. That number or that percentage did not change. However, you got to think that it sort of changed because we moved some of these students into the yellow, and then we moved some of the students from the yellow into the green. Okay, so this is showing that our reading proficiency is moving in the right direction. Next. Okay, so our iReady math, at the beginning of the year, 5% of our students were on grade level. When we took it again, middle of the year, we had moved that to 9%. Little gains. At the beginning of the year, we had a big chunk that was in the red, 2 or more grade levels below. But you can see the difference that we closed that gap a little bit. And we moved some of those students into the yellow. So this yellow got a little bit bigger, but that's because we moved them out of red into yellow. Now in math, we had a bit of some staffing issues with our math department. We have been working, trying to fix it. We've come up with some solutions so that we're hoping that by the end of the year, our data is going to look a little bit better.
And hoping next year we get the teachers that we need for these positions so we can be more effective. Okay, sorry.
Next. Okay, so this shows our proficiency from last year and our proficiency for this year. Here's reading, here's math. Last year, at the beginning of the year, 15% of our students were at proficiency. This year it was a little bit lower. We were at 13%. But when you look at middle of the year, we've already passed what we did last year. So we had a lot more gains from beginning of the year to middle of the year.
Right.
And if you look here at the end of the year last year, we're where we were at the middle of the year. So we should see
gains.
some good gains for
Yes.
end of the year.
Very good.
And here's math. We started in the same spot at the beginning of the year as last year. Our gains were not as well
Not where
as
we
last
wanted.
year. But because we put these things in place and tried to fix our staffing, we should see that go up at the end of the year.
Right, there were variables as to why these scores were low. And as Dr. Finley knows, and we had people just kind of leave our school. And we tried hard to get subs, but subs and teachers, we need, the resource in order for this to be proficient. So hopefully next year, right, we'll get people in place.
All right, next.
Okay. So how are we achieving these goals in our school? How do we want our kids to be successful in their schools? There are several interventions that we put in place that we have, of course. We have the use of the curriculum maps. Now, in the summertime, we had representative come in and help us with our pacing guide, and it aligns with our standards. And teachers came in the summer and also helped with the curriculum mapping and aligning with the standards. So that's what they use in order to follow and help the students, of course, achieve. The second one is PLCs, professional learning communities. We have that every Monday for our teachers. There are different topics every Monday for an hour during their team prep. Today we had STEM. We talk about rigorous, we talk about checking for understanding. We go over different lesson plans. We go over, keep on walking forward, sorry. We go over small groups. You name it, we try to put the topics in there to make sure the teachers have the materials and the knowledge to move forward, to help our kids move forward as well. Small group instruction. In our platform, iReady, when the kids are on there for 50 minutes per week, they also, when they take the diagnostic, they show the small groups, and it helps the teacher know where the kids are and how to put them in groupings and what direction to take with the kids. So they have the lessons and they break the kids in teams and they move forward and they learn and they pass the lessons in the iReady platform. Of course, it's data driven. So when you see the data and where the kids are in the small groupings, you know how to move them forward with the data. Everything's data driven in our school, basically. The last one is SST, Student Support Team. And Ms. Hildebrand does a phenomenal job heading that team. I'm part of it, but she's heading it. And we all get together during the Zoom twice a month. We talk about achievement, we talk about attendance, how to help the students, what parents we contact, what can we do to get them from point A to point B, what interventions. It's a great team and it is working, and we're moving forward with this, and the kids, you can tell when you look at other data that this is working. Next. Okay, we'll take a look here. The second goal is to improve instruction. There are many ways that we're trying to improve instruction, and one way is reevaluation, of course, with feedback. The walkthroughs that we also go with, that we go to classroom 3 times a week, give them feedback, give them instructional feedback. Also, we have ongoing iReady training with data as well. We also kind of focus into ELA in math with this training, because there's a lot in iReady. It's so many areas in iReady that it's due, because this is new for us. It's our second year, I believe, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. This is the second year, we're still learning iReady. So that's what we have ongoing training for our ELA teachers and math. We also give them opportunities to go to outside conferences. It's imperative that they go and they learn. Dr. Finley promotes that. I mean, she tells me I need to go. So thank you very much. I need to learn. There's always something new that we have to learn, and also teach our teachers. And also we have Late Start Wednesday, in which we talk, the teachers get together in their subject area and help each other with lesson plans and STEM lesson plans, and they collaborate. And lastly, we put after school tutoring for a reason, but that also helps not only teachers, but of course our teachers. We have 2 ELA teachers and 1 math, 1 para, and helping our kids move forward. All right, so our third goal is social emotional learning. This is probably the most important, because if the kids don't have this, it's hard for them to make it. So we are trying to decrease the numbers of suspension by 31, and we also want to increase the attendance by 6.8. Next. Okay, so the next one, yeah. Okay, this is our suspension data. Now, I know you're probably wondering what's the data from last year, but last year we probably had maybe 2 or 3 suspensions. There really isn't much to compare here from last year to this year, because last year we had virtual, we had hybrid, and we really didn't have any, maybe 1 or 2 suspensions. It's hard to, I think we could compare this probably next year. But let's take a look here. The blue are all the students, the red are the girls, and yellow are the boys. This starts from August all the way to December, of course. But if you take a look on August, we had 28 students who got suspended for fighting or instigation, profanity, whatever it is, but it was 7 girls who got suspended and 21 boys in the month of August. September, of course, it increased. Unfortunately, we went up to 46, which was 24 girls and 22. And it was basically the same things, instigation, fighting, and not getting along. And if you take a look, it does increase. Well, we had a meeting about November. If you take a look at, if you take a look at November, it did increase. And I had a meeting with our deans, which is Mr. Scott and Miss Moore, and of course, Miss Hildenbrand, and to wonder what took place here. And we looked at the data, and there was a lot of like fighting, instigation, pushing, shoving, and a social worker, Miss Askew, said that it is possible that because of the holidays coming around, the anxiety, the stress not being in school, and other things that go on in the family contribute to this number. So what we did was we had sessions with the counselor, the social workers. We had partnership with Infinity. Therapists came in, started talking to our students. We started having sessions in my office when things came, when they needed to talk to someone. Miss Moore had the girls, Mr. Scott had the boys. So there was a lot of talking, collaboration, circle communication, and something happened here. So these interventions, gosh, are making a difference in our school. And I'm hoping that, and I was talking to Mr. Scott this afternoon, he said, believe it or not, Ms. Q, it has increased even more from December. Something is working, our interventions. So altogether from the year, for the first semester, we had 237 suspension. And we looked into data even more, the boys, we thought the girls were the ones that had more suspension. It was the boys, it was 140. Then we looked deeper into data. I'm getting like Dr. Finley, yes. So we looked deeper into the data, and we found that it was the 7th grade boys who had the most suspension, all of them. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna focus on those boys with our interventions. Next. Okay, so in order for us to decrease it, we did have some interventions. Of course, I mentioned social worker sessions. She has her sessions with the circle. She talks to all of them and goes through the SEL practices. We have partnership with Infinity. They come in weekly and talk to our high-risk students. They're doing a phenomenal job. Partnership with administration. Ms. Beckman has administration partner with some of our students to develop a relationship, to show that we care. 4, check in and check out. So the student goes to a teacher that he has a relationship with and checks in with that person. They talk about it, and then they check out. They talk about how was your day, and they get rated as well. Session with the counselors. The counselors talk with them academic wise. We also have repeated parent meeting, and it's at the point where parent goes, you got to act right, and it's decreasing. We don't see those parents as often as we did the first semester, but it is decreasing. And then we do have number 7, school-wide monthly Zoom meetings. And what is this? We came up with, after the kids were gone for 4 or 5 days, that Monday, it's a school-wide Zoom. Everyone gets a link. The teachers Zoom in with all their kids, and we go over all the rules, all the regulations, the expectations. It takes about 45 minutes. What we do, we talk about everything. So they can't say, hey, I didn't know that. What are you talking about? So we do this monthly. Every time they have we do 2-1 now. We're going to do 1 now. Every time they have all these days, we try to reinforce the rules and talk positive. And, social worker comes in and talks sometimes. And the dean says too, Miss Hildebrand also. We all try to talk to kids so they can go the right direction in a positive way. And lastly, of course, the student support team. We talk about the kids and how we can help them move forward as well.
Block's attendance rate for this year from August to January 31st is at 95.9%. We are supposed to be at the state requirement of 95%, so we're doing good there. In this chart, you can see what our percentage was for each month. And we've hit that 95% target every month except for October and December. But because we've done good in all the other ones, we're still at 95.9, which is much better than what we did last year when we had virtual and then we had hybrid. So our percentage was 82.63%. Next. So some interventions that we have in place to improve attendance. You know, we do the school-wide Zooms that Ms. Q already spoke about. I'm always talking about attendance with the students. And it really works out good when I get to the attendance meeting, because I have the students there at the attendance meetings and I'll be like, remember I talked about that? And they're always like, oh yeah. But number two, the truancy letters. When there's 3 and 5 unexcused absences, our truancy officer sends a letter home, and that usually has the parent calling me to see what's going on. So, you know, I start talking to them at that point. When we get to 6 unexcused absences, I do an attendance meeting. And at that point, we sign the attendance contract. I go over the policy. Like I said, the student is usually present so that they understand or are on the same page with the parent, because a lot of times those unexcused absences could be excused if they kind of work together, like, hey, mom, I need a parent note, you know, write me a note because I missed school. So I talk to them about working together. Also at my attendance meetings, I am talking to the families about the parent cafe. I talk to them about the partnerships that we have formed with those organizations. So there's a form that shows everybody we're partnered with, the services that they provide. And then the families can check which services that they're interested in, and then they sign. If they're not interested, they have to sign that they're declining everything. Intervention 6 is a home visit. Usually I will send the truancy officer to the home if I'm unable to get in contact with the parent or they're not responding to me. Number 7, unfortunately, is a citation that the truancy officer writes. And they only do that if it comes from the school that we are at that point that we need the citation. For Block, I've requested 2 citations this school year. One of them didn't go through because it was a non-resident student, and they decided to transfer to Hammond where they live, as opposed to getting the citation. And then so 1 citation has been issued this year. I had updated this and I put numbers here. Hold on. So attendance contracts, I have the number. 67 contracts have been signed this year. And then for the parent cafe, I've had 41 students or families sign up for the parent cafe. And then, of course, the student support team, when we meet and talk about attendance, we talk about the things that we're doing, and then we focus on specific students, because a lot of times when there's an attendance issue, there's an academics issue, and then sometimes there's behavior issue. So we correlate everything and target those students.
And with the panorama that's coming up, you won't have to like go to different people, say, you know, what's your data? What's your data? We just go into that and you'll see who needs what. And if you guys have seen that program, it's like, wow, okay, but we're gonna get into that one quick. That's gonna help us tremendously. It's with time, especially, and interventions. Thank you. Also, we do fun things at Block, you know. This is Norma Petunich. We went to high school together and we graduated together from Washington High School, okay, senators. And She retired, you could say, in December before the holidays. So we took the late start Wednesday and we celebrated her years of service. And we gave her an award that said, thank you for your service. Great paraprofessional, phenomenal. She used to help everyone. This was also in December, was the same time. We had celebrated the holidays, of course, and then under a sweater. We had a contest and of course everybody participated, but we had one winner, Miss Barney. It's a horrible sweater, but she won. It was crazy. And this, we are trying to be going for a STEM certification, and we have teachers every Wednesday a month. They do a STEM lesson, and the students were doing a project in the classroom. They like that hands-on project-based. We were given the green T-shirt, and we have Green Wednesday, so the kids wear it on Wednesdays. So it's a short, day, and they wear green on Wednesday. They really like that green shirt. Even though they don't wear on green on Wednesday, but anyway, that's okay. This was a really good day when we gave out those book bags. Oh, the kids are taking their stuff out of their old book bag and putting it in there, just leaving the old, they left the old book bag, but they were so happy. Thank you very much. This was a really good day for the kids. So we do fun things. We try to do it every month, not only for teachers, also the kids, but we all need a little celebration in our school. And that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any questions from the board?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez?
I just had two questions, one for each of the presenters. Ms. Hildebrand first. You talked about the suspensions in school. Is there any organization, student-based organization that gets involved with this so that there's some peer-to-peer discussion about correcting behaviors?
Are you referring like a peer mediation session?
Yeah, I think that's what I'm leaning towards. Yes.
So Ms. Askew is trying to put that together for peer mediation, and also Ms. Moore. So we're kind of starting that intervention and discussing it. We tried it. What was it? Ms. Moore tried it. We tried it mediation with the two girls, and they still ended up not liking each other in that afternoon. But still,
I understand. Well, thank you. And then the other one, I think you answered a lot of questions I had about the growth portion at the beginning of the presentation. But one other question I had in the, and this is for Ms. Q, have you found any programs that aren't working like you thought they would? And is there, something that we should maybe look at reallocating our resources to something that is working versus something that may be ineffective?
good question. God, there's so many things that we're trying. I really like the fact that, honestly, the Infinity, they're helping us tremendously. I would not even discard that program.
Okay.
The check out, I wouldn't even, I like that myself, because we have the kids develop relationship with certain teachers, and that kind of helps our kids kind of diffuse, basically.
Right. Well, that's fine.
I'm sorry, but there's so many that we have that are working at this time. I wouldn't want to. You don't want too many.
Right.
Effective. You need ones that really work. So not right now. I think what we have is work.
Great. All right. Thank you.
If you find one that you want to kind of tell us about, let us know.
No, I was just curious. You're the one implementing it. I was just curious as a board member how that works on your end. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? I do have a question. I did see, the data of some of the goals regarding math, and that's always very alarming. And I know as a district we are behind. But if I heard correctly, for after school tutoring, there's only one math teacher, one para.
One math teacher and 2 ELA teachers.
And
One math and 2 ELA teachers, yes.
Dr. Finley, I guess when I'm thinking about just how far behind we are in math, is there any other type of program, something we could add to help with after school tutoring, seeing as a good portion, or this is Ms. Q too, a good portion of our students need to be in after school tutoring.
You're absolutely right.
The data.
You're
So I don't
absolutely right,
know
Vanessa.
how we're addressing that.
Okay, so yeah, Vanessa, as you well know, we have communities in schools, and Ms. Kemp is one of our top-notch math teachers. She's also teaching after school, our kids. So she has a big portion in community schools in her classroom. It's communities and schools. So she's a math teacher, and then I have Ms. Hernandez is also a math teacher. So these kids are after school tutoring with Ms. Hernandez, and then we have a big portion going with Ms. Kemp already, because the community school started a long time ago. I didn't want to take those kids and put them with Ms. Hernandez when they're ready to develop a relationship, and just they knew what to do, they knew the steps in Ms. Kemp's classroom. And so these that are coming in, these are new kids they're registered for after school tutoring. So yes, we do have another math teacher in session, but it's communities and schools.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, how many kids do we actually have going to after school tutoring?
Ours is 41
Okay.
after school tutoring.
And I see a lot of interventions, and Ms. Q, I 100% understand that social emotional is a big, I guess, issue that we have. And you said the 7th graders are the ones that have the most issues. And, the last time they probably went to, I guess, real in-person school was when they were maybe 4th grade, 5th grade. I just wanted to the reward that they're receiving for these interventions. I hear intervention, but I know we have to have a reward for them to look forward to, steps to look forward to, because they're still in that stage where they're learning. And I feel like the maturity, only because I have my own, the maturity level is just different with the kids now, because of the fact that they missed all of that in-person teaching. I know you touched about the green shirts and the backpacks that were given by the district, but I was just wondering other interventions that are actually rewards that are given to the students.
Well, as a matter of fact, that there are 2 teachers. We found old trophies, very old trophies in the book room. And she came to me, she said, Ms. Karoga, did you see the book room? I said, you know what? The kids need an incentive. If they go, let's say iReady, if they do pass all the lessons, they're 90%. I said, reward them at the end, give them a certificate. And then if they do until May, give them that trophy, and let me buy the little, little metal thing and put down the year and what they did. So we have 10 of those. We have certificates. We have like little, like McDonald's. So, and then there's teachers who ask, can we throw them a little pizza party? I said, absolutely. I said, come in and let's reward them for what they're doing. So they're like little rewards, and the teachers are asking, can I do this? It's absolutely, because they need to see that, they're doing the right thing, they're headed the right direction, and let's reward them. It's a lot of trinkets and things that teachers come up with. They're pretty creative, these teachers. So yeah.
It's good to hear. That's all for me, Dr. Finley. I don't know. I think we interrupted you. Sorry. Oh, somebody else?
Smith?
Yes, I just wanted to say thank you. I know your programs will work, your intervention programs work a lot better if
next year we have enough social workers and math teachers, that would just help that whole lot. So let's all work together and try to get more teachers in to help with the interventions. And then it would be such a big burden on, you know, just that one particular social worker. So we need to, as a district, lobby to get more social workers, social service, and math teachers and whoever else we can to help you bring the data percentage up.
Correct.
Because that seems to be the only hole that's in that program.
Yeah.
We just need more help.
Yeah.
And I appreciate everything that you're doing with this intervention. And I, like Vanessa was saying, from 5th grade to 7th grade, you haven't had a chance to even adjust. And now all of a sudden you're back in school and you're grown in the 7th grade. You don't know what's going on.
No.
And you miss 2 years of your life, your social life. You know, you gotta make new friends. Half of your friends have moved on. So social emotional learning is a big issue, not only just in our district, but throughout the United States. And it does affect our children's learning. But I just want to thank you for the steps that you have taken for the intervention. My hats off to you for that.
Thank you.
Dr. Finley?
I just wanted to say thank you to both ladies, both leaders of Black Middle School. Thank you.
Thank you again. The next item we have on our agenda is school safety.
Officers Chavaria and Howard are going to present school safety to all the people.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So today we're going to be talking about our safety, what we've done with our safety staff and what we are doing, implementing, and we're trying to do. So far we have, right now we have 19 security specialists that are enrolled with the school. We have 3 security managers in the district. Each elementary school has 2 security specialists. Block has 4 and Central has 5. We have 1 specialist or security personnel staff there at the administration building. We have 2 police officers off duty or part-time working at the schools when time for them presents itself. So they're all the time, but a lot of times when time presents itself, they're there. We have our security managers and myself, Roosevelt Howard Central High School. Lisa Sanders, she's at Lincoln, at Block, Lincoln and Washington. Mr. Chavaria takes care of Harrison, McKinley, Kerry Gosh, and he oversees all of the schools. Next slide, please. We have purchased 397 cameras throughout the district with grant money, and Mr. Chavaria can.
All of our cameras have been changed from analog to digital through grant money, and we have 22 brand new cameras here at the ad building, 46 at Block, 46 at Kerry Gosh, 103 at Central, 34 at Harrison, 29 at Lincoln, 37 at McKinley, 28 at the old Kerry Gosh building. Transportation has 12 and Washington has 40.
So also we have 7 new computer entry intercom systems with voice and camera accessibility. And those are helping us out greatly. You can see who's out there, and before we couldn't necessarily tell or talk to them. So now we have the capability of doing that, which helps out well. Also, they are, I have, when it rings, I have one in my office, in my camera, and the principal has one of his, and also the person that's at the front desk have them. So every time it rings, he can see, I can see, and the person at the desk can see. So that's been helping out well. All our security staffs are currently in training or have completed training in CPI. CPI is a course that is put on by the Crisis Prevention Institute. And this is a course that we get certified and crisis prevention train or nonviolent crisis prevention. So in order to try to de-escalate situations, also to teach you how to correctly hold kids and restrain them. So we are doing that. CPI training. CPR training. So we are certified in CPR, first aid, and we also have Stop the Bleed. We're doing Stop the Bleed and stuff like that. So we're trying to keep updated on that. We also have the See Something, Say Something located on the it's a hotline that's located on the website. So if something's going on, they can report that to the website and report it. And we man that daily.
24.
Yeah. So that's up, and we have new walkie-talkies throughout the district for everybody in the for the people that's giving them to in the school district, in the schools, transportation and facilities. So we have 138 new walkie-talkies, and they are
here. We just received the monitors for them. They should all be up and running within the next 2 weeks.
Next slide, please. So we have, we go down to, we're part of the Lake County Safe Schools Commissions, and we meet with those monthly. We have monthly meetings, go down from there are superintendents,
Police
officers, yeah. Resource officers. We go down and we meet and we talk, strategize. They tell us about the different training that's going on. They teach us a lot of different things, and a lot of stuff come up with networking with that commission. We also have our safety protocols. So these are emergency safety protocols that we have throughout the districts. Each school will have one of these, and these are in case of emergencies. So they know what to do in case of emergencies. All of them will have one. We also have them in Spanish and in English and in Spanish. So they are throughout the districts. All schools have them, including the ad building here. We also have our emergency response spiral that we use. So these are the emergency response for different emergencies that would happen. Each classroom have one of these inside of the classroom. So if something comes up, they can quickly see what is going on with those, how to respond to those different emergencies. Also, yeah, the RAVE. Okay, so RAVE, we have RAVE it's an app that we have that was designed. The county came up with it when we had that big incident with Lake Central. We had a debriefing and found out that a lot of things went right, but a whole lot of things went wrong. And communication was one of the things. Also, people throughout the district and the county was getting mixed signals about what was going on, what was happening. So with RAVE, we have it, the managers have it, and the superintendent have it. So if something emergency goes down that's large enough, they will contact us on our phones and on our computers to let us know what's going on, so we could have firsthand information as to what's happening and make non-true information is not going out.
I'd like to say a little bit about the RAVE. The RAVE was given to us by the Lake County Sheriff's Department. I have it on my personal phone, Mr. Howard, and so does Sue. And the reason for RAVE was because the majority of the kids at Lake Central were saying that kids were being shot. They were calling the parents were calling the media, and all of the RAVE is going to be real time. The chief has it, the commander has it, and I believe that's it on the police department. So all of us will be knowing in real time what is actually happening, what is not happening. Because the problem with Lake Central was a lot of the kids were calling the parents saying they're hearing gunshots and kids are falling, and none of that ever happens at all. So this is going to be real time for all of us. And a couple of things that I'd like to add is that we are teaming up with the police, fire, and the city directors in an emergency preparedness with Eric Reyes, and he's doing the citywide protocol for emergencies. The protocol that we're standing here, I showed it to him, and he would like to have the whole city doing that. That way, in case of an emergency, everybody's on the same platform. The camera system, I met with Commander Orange. The city is putting cameras throughout the district on the streets, and he has given us a choice to put cameras all around the schools on the outside of the streets, wherever we would need help at, which is going to help us out a great deal. March 1st is a big day for us because it's going to be a reunification day. Police will be there, fire, Eric Reyes, some directors from here, and also the security management, because that is a reunification date. So if in case of an emergency, we know where to put the kids at, how to take the kids, where to take them to, and most of that's going to be emergency from the police department. So they're going to have 2 to 3 of their police officers there. And an addition was that finally, after 15 years, we have a school resource officer who just completed class the 25th, who's going to be working with us on a part-time basis. For right now, the police department's a little short, but at least he's got the schooling. And this was the first time they did the schooling in Lake County ever. And that's been over 25 years. So we got it done free by the Lake County Commissions, which was a good thing. And one last thing is that I'd like to thank Ms. Leela, because Ms. Leela has given us all the grants for all of our equipment, and we are the top of the line of the schools with all of our equipment, being radios and cameras. We are the envy of the guys at Lake County, because when I tell them what we got, they're wishing for what we had. And thank you, Ms. Leela.
Any questions?
Are there any questions from the board?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez?
I know Trustee Rodriguez and I visited a booth at one of the school board conferences, and I can't recall, but I think it was called Stop It or something like that. It's a device that locks a door from somebody entering the classroom. While we talked about cameras and all that, I was just wondering if there was an effort made to secure each one of our classrooms individually by that device.
They did bring that up, sir, and the majority of the schools here do not have it, and the only reason they do not have it is because if somebody did get into school and right when they were locking the door and now they're inside, it's going to be hard for us to get inside now that the door is locked. That was brought up though. Numerous devices were brought up that we could put on the door to keep them locked, to keep them shut. We, as a county, we still haven't said yes to that.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
Any other questions?
Madam President.
Trustee Rodriguez?
The only question I have is with regards to active shooters. Can you give us a little highlight in terms of what programs you may have, or what type of precautions that you may have within our school districts in regards to active shooter? I know that downstate, I just got back from Washington several weeks ago, an active shooter has always been the highlight topic when it comes to school security. So what have we done to implement any type of security programs, or maybe a simulation of an active shooter within our schools?
See, we don't have a active shooter. We have drills. We have lockdown drills. Lockdown drills. We try to do lockdown drills twice a year, as required by the state. So we do lockdown drills. And so what we do is we simulate an emergency, and then we make sure that everybody goes by the protocols that we have. Out of sight, the doors locked. We walk by, make sure nobody is talking, make sure no one's opening up the doors and stuff like that. So we do that. But an actual active shooter simulation, we haven't had that. And we have had, not this year, but before we had last year, what we will have to do in the summer, when the weather permits, an evacuation. So we do evacuation. We go to the different sites, whatever designated. We make sure that we coordinate with the police department to make sure we get across the street safely and that and stuff like that. We coordinate with the schools. We make sure everybody's in and accounted for. So we have done that. So yes, we do. You have questions?
Any other questions? Dr. Finley?
I just wanted to say that, you know, we started the school year off getting and coordinating and collaborating what was already going, and just to provide the additional supports to be able to add like COVID-19 as part of one of our safety protocols, because that is definitely the new the new safety issue within the districts. And I will tell you, I get emails all the time from the Lake County Sheriff's Commission as well. And East Chicago does represent as well at those meetings. So I wanted to just say thank you to both of you gentlemen for your efforts and the things that you keep our school districts safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I do want to move to the next portion of the meeting, and that is the business portion. And the first item for the agenda is approval of minutes 12/6/2021 and 12/20/2021. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval. Is that Trustee Williams? You second the motion?
Trustee Rodriguez.
Oh, Trustee Rodriguez, I'm sorry. Are there any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes, the next item for approval is the claim docket. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve the claim dockets.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
thank you. I apologize. I'm trying to get into my board docs right now, but there it's coming. I had one is I know was on page 10. I believe the other was page 26. Both of those purchase items were related. One was, I believe, to Payless Sports, and the other one to another organization. Both of them are sports organizations. I was just wondering what those purchases were, and if there was the ability to make those purchases locally, that we do those at our sporting goods store here on Main Street. First one is on page 10, number 109882. The other's on page 26, 109856.
PE supplies that the teachers choose order from their vendors that we do twice a year. So they're all PE supplies, light balls, tennis balls, like that. I don't know what you think about. Okay, trustee Gomez, they are PE supplies that the teachers order twice a year on their own. I don't oversee the vendors that they use to do their PE supplies. And most of their PE supplies are things that, like the basketball, soccer balls and all.
Okay, thank you.
Is that that was the first one? Did you have a second one?
I believe, well, I believe she answered the question. The other was on page 26, 109856.
That's the same thing. The teacher supplies that they order twice a year, that they have the allotment of money to order twice a year.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes,
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 3, approval of personnel report. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve personnel report.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
second,
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
yeah, at the last meeting, I believe we passed the request for a interventionist over at Lincoln School. My understanding is that that job was declined. Is that job posted?
It's not a job, it's a contract. So
Is the
it's-
contract
there's a diff-
posted?
No, nothing is posted at this time.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
yes,
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 4, approval of distribution of payroll. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
yes,
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 5, approval of donations. What is the pleasure of the board? Or I'm sorry, Dr. Finley first.
There are 3 donations we're seeking approval for. We're thankful that Enchanted Backpack is making a visit again to our district. This time Lincoln Elementary will be the recipient of a $40,000 donation in supplies and equipment. Carrie Gosh received tickets for, I'm gonna mess this up, so let me go to it. It's the fame, the, oh, what do they call it? No, it's not Enchanted Backpack. It's the Mascot Hall of Fame. See, wordsmithing. So Mascot Hall of Fame received 100 tickets. That's for our preschoolers. And the last one is a donation from request from Trustee Orange, and that we're going to partner, or we have partnered with Athletes for Charities for their 4th annual Dr. Seuss Cat in the Hat Day. So excited about all 3 of these donations, and thank you, and seeking approval tonight.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion for approval,
Trustee Smith makes a motion for approval.
I'll second the motion.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Are there any questions? Ms.
Madam
Bigum?
President,
Trustee
I'm
Gomez.
sorry, I apologize, but I am curious. The Athletes for Charity, I thought the board discontinued the relationship with that organization.
And I guess I could answer that.
Please, yeah.
The school district was the one who ended up, I guess, discontinuing. But after talking to the director of the actual program, my thought has always been, I would never want to take away from the students over adult issues. So the fact that we were able to continue to give books to our students who in East Chicago usually do not receive books, we wanted to find a way to continue with this effort. And because the director she understands and knows how to reach out and get this done within our school district, we made sure that we just worked the plan and got it done again. We're actually doing more students this time because our efforts from the teachers as well as community members and other businesses have now reached to us receiving donations enough to give to students from K to 2nd grade at every school district. So While I understand that there was a parting of the ways, I'm grateful that we're still going to get this done for our students of them all receiving a book.
I just asking Attorney Harris his opinion on this. I don't have an issue with the program or the offering itself, but how does that work in terms of what the board has passed previously?
Right, so, Trustee Gomez, I think the first question is whether or not this book donation was included in the MOU that you terminated. Right, the board terminated an MOU, and
Yes.
as I sit here, I don't remember the full scope of what was included in that MOU back then, which was probably a year ago. But I think that's the first question that kind of goes to what you're asking is, does this have anything to do with the MOU that was terminated?
Okay,
So
we
I
could,
don't know.
yeah, if you don't mind. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say if Madam President has an answer to that question. I don't know if she knows off.
In our MOU, the MOU that was we previously had, it didn't specifically state everything that was being done within the school district. Most of the items that that were done with Athletes for Charity were basically at our like STEM schools, when that was Lincoln, if I'm correct, and as well, I think at one point it was Harrison also that was involved. But did we specifically plan out absolutely everything in regards to Athletes for Charity? No, I think it was just kind of like a basic overall touch of, you know, the termination of the MOU.
Okay, well, if Attorney Harris can go back and look at it, I'd feel more comfortable if we had another set of eyes on that MOU discontinuation from last year and see how this sits along with that. I'm ready to move on.
While we're here, though, I do have a question that maybe it'll help us get an answer to this. Is there any programming involved in this, or is it strictly just a donation of the books for the school to do what they need to do with it? Or is there some programming that Athletes for Charity is going to be involved in with?
There is the distribution of the books, and with that, some of our sponsors that we have that donated, there'll be special readers in some of the classrooms. That's basically the only, we'll probably have the Zoom from Athletes for Charity that coordinated these individuals who come, but we usually ask board members as well as special guests who sponsored or just other people who we have in our community to read to our students.
So it sounds as though it's more than a typical donation where they just give books, that there is some interaction. I mean, based upon what you're describing, normally that's the subject of it. It's kind of what we had before. But if Trustee Gomez wants me to go back and look at the agreement, I can do that. Or if the board takes a vote and wants to do something else, that's the prerogative of the board. But I do understand the question. And from what it sounds like, it's not just dropping off books at the school corporation and letting the school do what it wants to do with it. It sounds like there's some interactive component. And normally when we have something interactive, we have an MOU with that partner.
Can I intervene and ask a question at this time as well? Attorney Harris, what if we just accepted the donation and the school district took the lead on organizing the effort for reading with the kids?
I think that would make it a typical donation. That way that's not any other donation. That's why I was asking all those questions, is there's a difference between just giving the books, that is what it is, but if there's some interaction, we document it in the MOU and explain what our expectations are, or what they can do or what they can't.
So my next question is this: we ask the board to accept the donation from Athletes for Charity with the amendment of that we will lead the effort as a district pending your review of the MOU?
I'm not suggesting that you even amend it. I was just explaining the difference. I don't know what the board wants, right? I'm just explaining the difference in a typical donation and a donation with some programming. So whoever wants to make a motion, they make a motion.
Okay.
Whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Madam President,
Trustee Williams.
my question is, I guess it also is for Attorney Harris, is with the MOU being canceled, if it was just a complete, like Dr. Finley said, a donation, like the other two that's a part of this docket, is
just a donation and not any interaction, is it okay with us canceling the MOU with this Appalachian charity? Is it okay for us to even accept the donation with the fact that we're no longer in partnership with them?
Yeah, I think the donation will be fine at that point. They want to give to the kids.
Right.
And I think that's what.
And I think that's
Yeah, I don't
my
see any
clarity
issue with that.
is, with programming, we would have to enter into another MOU, right?
Yes, because that speaks back to the relationship between the school corporation and the entity, which was the reason the MOU got terminated.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, is there any change? I'm obviously abstaining because I'm on the donation list, so I just want to know, we're set to move forward.
I just want some clarity. So we can accept the donation.
Yes, we can accept the donation per Attorney Harris with the recommendation that School City of East Chicago administrative team will lead the organization of the reading.
Okay.
The programming. Okay?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
yeah, I would defer to Attorney Harris rather than recommendation. I guess stipulation rather than recommendation. That the school district will take over once the donation's been made. Attorney Harris, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think we're all saying the same thing at this point.
Okay.
So I do.
I just want the language to be right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
Hernandez on.
Yes. The next item is approval of interim director of transportation, Dr. Finley.
This is a request of the board to approve the interim director of transportation until June 30th of 2022.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion for approval.
Trustee Smith makes a motion for approval.
I'll second that motion.
Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Madam President.
Trustee Gomez.
Yeah, that was Trustee Rodriguez.
sorry.
Second. Yeah, and I only had a question on number 2, where it lists 260 days. That doesn't, I don't believe the math is correct there. Attorney Harris.
Right, so I think this is part of the standard contract, and
Okay.
Ms. Simmons explained that a little bit. I think it's a good question, though. Ms. Simmons, do you want to explain it to him?
That is the standard contract of the 260 for the directors. And I do believe on this one, she does have an out date of 6/30, so that would be the end of the contract. So, but that's our standard contract number of days. We do not change the dates on the standard contracts.
I understand it may be standard, but this is not a standard agreement. And I was just wondering if we should just delete item 2 from this document.
That is a programming adjustment that we would have to make through our vendor for that.
So Trustee Gomez, this is one of their standard forms that, this isn't something that I prepared.
Oh,
This
okay.
is something, and this is that generic form, and
Okay,
that's the
yeah.
reason I had this. Yeah, this is it.
Okay. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
chairman Hernandez on.
Yes, Attorney Harris, I do want to, I ended up voting for the donation. And I wanted to abstain. I totally slipped my mind as we were going to the roll call. Do I have to revert back to that, or should I just, how do we make sure to put it on roll call that?
So
I
the votes
won't-
cast, you could make a motion to reconsider. I'd recommend we go to the agenda, and then you can make a motion to reconsider that agenda item, and you would call for the vote again. But right now, your vote is already cast. We can't change it unless it's reconsidered in the form of a new motion. So I would recommend finishing the business portion of the meeting as is, and then making a motion to reconsider item number 5.
Okay,
Have the
all
vote
right.
again.
I apologize. I apologize to everyone. I'm sorry. So the next item is approval of Director of English Language Extended Contract. Dr. Finley.
You have on your docket or in front of you, the Director of English Language Extended Contract, June 30th of 2022. We're seeking your approval right now.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 8, approval of interim athletic director extended contract. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion to approve.
I second that motion.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Are there any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 9, approval of 611 ARP IDEA Award notification. Dr. Finley.
611, and so ones we're looking at right now are numbers 9 and 10. I'm gonna brief you on both of those at the same time. American Rescue Plan, we do have some funds specifically from this, for the special ed department. Part B, 611 and 619, which is federal funding for our education of students with disabilities. For 611, we received a total allocation of $234,013 with a share going to our non-pubs, non-public schools in the amount of $3,250.18. And then we have our 619, which equals $17,474. There's already a plan in place that we'll seek approval for at a later date. But at this time, I'm seeking approval for the funds. Then we'll come back and share with you and make a request for what we need to do with these funds specifically. Thank you.
For item number 9, approval of 611 ARP IDEA Award notification. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
Hernandez on.
Yes. And item number 10, approval of 619 ARP IDEA Award notification. And Dr. Finley already explained it. So what is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes the motion for approval.
I'll second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Are there any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 11, approval of resolution opposing AG Ricaitis Parent Bill of Rights 2022-02. And I'm going to go with Trustee Gomez. You probably have a better explanation of this.
Thank you. I'm going to defer back to Attorney Harris. Just in short, though, Attorney General Todd Rokita has been pretty vocal about his, in my opinion, his opposition to issues like critical race theory, social emotional learning, diversity, equity, inclusion, all the things that we should have in our school district and that every school across Indiana should have. I think you drafted a great document here explaining the board's position on our opposition, hopefully our collective opposition against Attorney General Rokita's stand. He's obviously pandering to a base of his, and I don't think this is a good thing for our school district. And again, for any school district, I hope that with this passage, we show as a school board that we're taking the leadership and we're standing up for the rights of our children in our community in opposing this. So if Attorney Harris would like to weigh in and add his comments, I'd appreciate that, and that we move forward and vote on this tonight.
I was able to work with Trustee Gomez on this resolution. And he's correct, this resolution is in response to Todd Rokita's Parents' Bill of Rights. He issued that in November of 2021. In addition to that document, which is about a 58-page document or so, that it attempts to reflect what he's determined are the values of Indiana families. Also was followed by Indiana House Bill 1134 and Indiana Senate Bill 167, which are legislative attempts to basically do the same thing, and that's define what the values of Indiana families are. And in doing that, they've identified social emotional learning and diversity, equity, and inclusion, and curriculum that includes issues that have been described as critical race theory as not aligning with Indiana family values. What this resolution would do is speak in opposition to that position. Clearly, one person, whether it be the Attorney General or anyone else, can't speak to all the family values of every family in Indiana. And it's not appropriate to do that, and it's not within the jurisdiction or power of the Attorney General to attempt to do that. So basically what this does is spell that out in the form of a resolution. It also outlines some specific areas of required curriculum by state law. And it's just interesting to note some of the required curriculum does involve the Constitution, both the state and US Constitution, governmental systems, the history of Indiana and the United States. But when it comes to issues, historical issues involving Black and brown people, it becomes divisive and a problem. And what this resolution would do is would allow the school board to recognize the fact that that's not appropriate and speak out in opposition to it.
Madam President, in addition to that, he has gone on record as calling Black Lives Matter a political organization, and I believe he's even called it a terrorist organization or something along those lines. Whatever it is, it's disparaging to those people who are who strongly believe in the important role that Black Lives Matter plays in our country nowadays. And to Attorney Harris's comment about divisive concepts that Attorney General references, schooling is hard and school boarding is hard, and sometimes you got to face the hard facts that our history isn't as they say, history is written by the winners of the war. Right now, I think the move is to rewrite history in its factual sense, not in the sense of the people who may have won a war many, many years ago and are now afraid of, allowing people of color, the advancement that they seriously need in a time like this. So again, I really appreciate Attorney Harris's effort on this. It's a great document.
Thank you to both Attorney Harris as well as to Trustee Gomez, just to bringing to light a very, in my opinion, impactful resolution, so showing support that we are against this. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I'd like to move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
I'd just like to thank Trustee Gomez and everyone else across the state of Indiana who lobbied against this. It was kind of touch and go for a moment. And it was a lot of prayers going up. So Trustee Gomez, thank you for communicating with me with this and with the ISBA. And we did accomplish something. So work together, we can make a difference. But I'm going to say this fight with this particular bill is probably not over, and we have to watch closely because they can intertwine that into another bill. So all of us, we're gonna have, as a school district, we're gonna have to start watching all the bills and seeing where we are to make sure that that language is not put into another legislation. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
And if I can, Madam President, to Trustee Smith's comments, I'm glad she brought that up because I would like, once the board hopefully passes it this evening, that we send this to our legislators, both locally and downstate. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Ms. Bigger, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. I think now is the time where I have to ask for a reconsideration of item number 5, approval of donations.
Madam President, I'd like to move to reconsider item number 5, I believe it is,
Yes,
approval of donations. Thank you. Yes, item number 5.
thank you. And I'll second that motion. And again, just wanted to once again revote so that I can go on record that I'm standing for the vote. So Ms. Bigum, or are there any questions regarding that?
Yeah, Madam President, I believe your first attempt is to bring it back for reconsideration, correct? So that would be one vote, and the second vote would be the vote.
Actual, correct. I just didn't know if there was any questions regarding, just to put it back for reconsideration. No? Okay, Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Now we'll be approving again. Can I have a motion for approval of the donation?
Madam President, I'd like to move for approval of item number 5, the donation to the school district.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion and then trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Are there any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
chairman Hernandez on.
Abstain. The next items that we have on our agenda is superintendent's remarks.
Thank you, trustee Orange. Just a few things just to share with you. The celebration continues for our own Grecia Alcantar. We communication that the East Chicago City Council is going to acknowledge her at their February 9th meeting. East Chicago Central High School leaders are aware and they plan to attend. I want to say thank you to our parents, students, and staff for your patience during last week's winter storm. Please know that student and staff safety are priorities for schools in East Chicago. The decision to transition to e-learning or cancel school is never an easy decision to make. So I just wanted to say thank you again for your patience. As I stated earlier, we are fortunate to have another school selected by Enchanted Backpack to be showered with supplies. Congratulations to Lincoln Elementary. Enchanted Backpack will be on site for their big reveal on February 17th, which is right before break. We're in the process of organizing media along with others to be there for the big reveal. As a reminder to everyone in the district, parents and students as well, there will be no school on February the 18th and February the 21st. In our COVID update, last meeting, I had an opportunity to introduce you to our COVID navigator. She updates our COVID testing data every Tuesday. It is on our website. We appreciate the attention she gives to ensuring that we are safe. Just so you're aware, just like every place else in the country right now, our COVID positivity rate is decreasing. We continue to be in the red as a district because our community, East Chicago, the city itself, is still in the red, and we want to definitely be respectful and cautious during these times and not relax our mandates too much. So I have nothing else, and thank you so much for your time.
Madam President.
Thank you. Trustee Williams?
The 18th and the 21st
Correct.
for
Winter break.
winter break.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next we'll go to trustee remarks. Are there any trustee remarks?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
I just have a couple here. One is the, and I know I was going back to the minutes, and it was actually addressing a comment you had made earlier. I believe we're on the same page here relative to tutoring. In January, I know we had a couple of e-learning days, so I'm unfamiliar with how that works with e-learning, the efforts to tutor our students. Do we have numbers, Superintendent, for January on how many kids participated in tutoring, and if you could explain how that works during those days of e-learning?
January 24th was the first day of tutoring. So there were not that many days, I believe, of tutoring in January.
Yeah.
We were really impacted last week during the winter storm. And when e-learning takes place, no, there's not any tutoring available. That is on site and in person with our students. God bless you. Is on site with our students in person, because the teachers or whoever is overseeing tutoring gets paid an additional stipend to deliver those services to our students.
Okay, yeah, and so those tutorings are generally held for groups of children, correct?
Yes, they're held for small groups of students by subject.
Okay. The only other item I had was addressing the issue of the sports purchases. I'd like to think or hope that we can, as a board, look at a policy to purchase locally where possible. I'm concerned of that on a number of levels. We do have businesses in town, and on the occasion that we may look for help, if in the future there is a referendum, we would turn to our businesses to help us. And I think we should be in front of that, whether we're purchasing meals for a board meeting or purchasing items for the maintenance department or athletic wear for our schools. So I'd like to maybe ask the policy committee and Attorney Harris to consider developing a policy that would kind of encourage that would encourage the school district to make purchases local, wherever and whenever possible. That concludes my remarks.
Any other trustee remarks? Next, we'll move to public forum.
Nobody. Madam President, no one is signed up.
Okay, the next day and time for the meeting. Oh, sorry, I should have prepared that. Will be on the 20.
We'll be moving to the 22nd now, since there's no school that day and it's President's Day.
Correct. Yeah, 22nd at 6 p.m. And can I please have a motion for adjournment?
I'll second that motion.
Trustee Smith and Trustee Rodriguez? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, I couldn't hear you guys. I'm sorry. Ms. Bigum Roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Thank you and good night, everyone.